I don't know how to start this. I don't know how to start anything.
Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white horse, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything.
Every time I try to start this video, I just start laughing. I want to start it like, not with like a sugary like, hi, you know, because like with the book, I'm not gonna do that. Hi guys, it's me, EJ. Long time no see. The last time I uploaded a video was quite literally in January of this year. It was a second a day 2022. I have kept to my word that that was the last a second a day that I was gonna do, at least for this upcoming year. I have not been filming anything on top of just like a second a day. Like I haven't even done that. A lot has been going on. I do miss editing videos and filming. I say that all the time, but I don't miss it enough to find the motivation to do it. But yeah, for some reason, I'm here right now filming a video. See, here's the thing, right? I started filming this video I think a few days ago, and my camera battery died. And so I was like, oh, let me charge it and then I'll continue to record. And then I realized, well, it's not that I wanted to like put makeup on my face, but I wanted to be more presentable. Like when I started this video a few days ago, I kind of was just like, it was a spur of the moment. I wanted to talk to a camera, and I was just like, let me actually gather my thoughts. Let me like actually figure out what I want to talk about so this video doesn't get too long-winded. Something I realized about myself is that I'm very good in front of a camera when no one is around. The only living being that's around right now is Willow, my dog, and she's napping on the couch, so really she's not even paying attention to me. That's something I think I also struggle with, is like recording outside of myself, you know, like recording myself on top of like other people. And I also just like, I haven't left my house mainly because either people I want to spend time with are far away from me, or the people that I have been wanting to spend time with, you know, are busy. I'm 26 now and I'm starting to creep up towards 30. People in my life are just, you know, continuing to do what they need to do to kickstart, throttle themselves into whatever place they want to be in their life, and I am like 100% supportive of that. I have a few things that I want to talk about. So one of the things was staying home, so I already talked about that. I am in a new space, as you can tell. I have not filmed in this space before or yet, because the last time you saw me was at my mom's house. I don't think I had mentioned that I was moving out, because at the time when I posted that video, I think it was just in January when my boyfriend and I decided we were going to be moving in together. Right after the new year started, we were kind of like jump starting into finding a place together. His lease was about to end in March of this year. We were kind of in a time crunch with only 2 months to find somewhere, and we wanted to find somewhere that was in between where I used to live and downtown Austin. So I currently live in Austin, Texas. I live more north. I guess you could also say I live like northeast, but I live closer to like Georgetown, Pflugerville, Hutto, those places, but I'm still like an Austin resident. This is our apartment. I might do an apartment tour one day. It's only been like pretty much like a month since we moved in here. We moved in here last month, April 12th, and pretty much like we're mostly settled. There are just still some things that like the small things here and there that like we need to get, and just kind of like making this a home. As you can tell, there's like a bunch of stuff on the walls already. It's kind of like I just like copy and pasted my room and put it here in this apartment, and basically like the living room pretty much feels like my room but bigger, because I have all my shit in it. And on the second floor, which is fine, got neighbors above us and below us. The change has been very significant, I'll say. Of course it's significant, EJ, that's a very fucking obvious thing. You moved out of your parents' house. For some reason, like living on my own, even though it's not really on my own, feels easy and difficult at the same time. Learning to live with someone who is not a family member is new. I mean, it's been pretty easy, but like it's still new. It's still something I've never done before. Luckily, my boyfriend and I have a good relationship where we're able to live in harmony. One of the things that we hated before we moved in together was that we lived quite a distance from each other. He was like an hour to 45 minutes away, so like the travel would always be difficult, but we would always be so tired when we'd see each other. So now like when we're together, this apartment is basically like we can do our own things while still being in the same room together, and my love language is quality time. So to me, that's all that I care about, is knowing that somebody else is in the room, or the person that I love is in the room with me. It doesn't have to necessarily be doing the same thing I'm doing. So that has helped us immensely in our relationship, is knowing that like we're the first person that we see in the morning when we wake up in the morning, and the last person we see when we go to bed. And I think that has meant a lot to us because we weren't able to do that before. As far as family goes, I have talked previously before that I have felt that I needed to not be in my mother's house because I felt like I was being smothered, and I just felt like it wasn't a very healthy environment for me. I've exploded way too many times. My mental and emotional health was taking its toll, and I honestly feel like, and I've said this like since I was 19, it doesn't matter if I am financially stable or unstable. I know for a fact that now that I am out of that environment, I am in a much better place, at least emotionally and mentally. And because I know myself, it's true. I definitely feel a lot more freedom, and that comes with the territory of moving out of your parents' house, is that you have more freedom and you have the ability to do whatever you want to do. And like I said, with my age like heavy set on my brain, I just felt like also personally it was time for me to leave. And I did take into account everything that has been going on in my life. Like my dad died, and then you know the holidays came up, which were really hard. And then you know I told John that I wanted to move in with him in December. He wasn't necessarily there yet until the next month in January. He was like, let's move in together. That's where we're at. This is the new space. I feel like I'm in a very good place, despite everything else that I probably will be talking about in a little bit. I don't have a job. That's the next thing I wanted to talk about. I don't have a job. It's a very complicated situation. I did not intend to move out with the means of having no job. That quite literally was the last thing that I wanted, and I already cried about it prior to moving into this apartment. And it happened 3 weeks before we were going to move into this apartment. John and I signed the lease and like all the documents in February, so it was already set that John and I were going to be moving into this apartment in April. I worked at HEB, and I didn't really want to transfer to a new one. I kind of wanted to actually venture out and do something other than HEB. And I was job searching. I really wanted a remote job, still want a remote job. Have not been able to find that. I did have like small instances where I was able to find job opportunities, but they either, in my opinion, paid too little or the workload was too much. I'll just keep looking because again, we signed it in February and our move-in date was April 12th. So I had like at least like a month and a half of time before finding a new job. So I was like looking every day, applying every day, and the job market itself is pretty shady right now. I was like, I hate this. And worst comes to worst, like I said, I was just going to have to transfer to a new HEB. And now you're wondering like, well, it seems like you couldn't find a job, so why didn't you transfer to an HEB closer to you? I'm getting to it. I have almost been scammed twice on jobs, and so I have already been worried about the job market just based off that, because it's getting easier and easier for phishing to happen and scams on Indeed. And one of the scams happened on Indeed and the other one happened on LinkedIn, which my best friend at the time, or my best friend currently, but at the time she was like, I didn't think anyone could really scam on LinkedIn because she really trusts that platform. And so I've been wary since those two instances for applying for jobs, and I'm more wary about jobs that just reach out to me. I was reached out to by a small business. I'm not going to say the name of their business because I do have some respect for them despite what they did to me. They reached out to me in a message on Indeed, and I was a little skeptic because again, scam. They asked me if I could apply for this position that they had open, and I was like, they didn't have a physical location, so in my head I was like, where am I supposed to work? A lot of things weren't adding up, but as far as I was concerned, they were a real business. I said I was interested, but I was also wanting to inquire further, and so they wanted to set up an interview time, and I was like, okay. Interview time over Zoom. And when I interviewed with them, there were two very real people. Didn't look AI or anything. I'm not a professional or an expertise in finding those kind of things, but they seem like very real people to me. I deep dived so hard into their business, and I tried to find the two of them on social media, and I could only find like one of them on, I think maybe LinkedIn, but they were very hard to find, but they were very real people, so I was like, okay. And so like I did the interview, they really liked me, they wanted to offer me not the position, but a better position with better pay. And in my head, every time I get something like that, I'm always like, this is too good to be true. But everyone kept reassuring me that like I deserve this, that I worked hard for this, that this is something that I deserved and all that, whatever. And so my doubts still kept ringing in my head, but I kept being like, no, you know, they gave me legal documents to sign. I enrolled myself in payroll, like this was real, like I visited the office location, like this was all real, okay? But in my head, I still was like, something doesn't feel right, something is not sitting right with me. I don't know, but I'm still gonna go through with it because what else do I have? I don't have anything else.
Hi guys, Editing EJ here. I just wanted to interject and also say that I know that I am speaking very vaguely about this whole situation. I wanted to say that I did a lot of research on this company, on the people. They were very hard to find. They hid a lot of things, which was really sketch to me, but I was like, they had a website, there were two CEOs slash co-owners, and I kept like in contact with them regularly about when I would start. They sent over documents. I was going to turn them in on my first day, and like I said, I signed up for payroll. What kept me like from backing out, because even though like throughout this whole explanation I'm like saying that I am like a little sus and that like I am doubtful, it's because they like spoke very highly of me. They complimented me all the time. They complimented my work ethic. They really admired my background and my experience, and they really respected me from what they were telling me, and that's why they offered me a higher position with better pay, and they promised me all these things. So this is why it was sort of a curveball, but not really. You know, it was a curveball, but I dodged it because like I already had some sort of feeling that something was not going to come to fruition. But I wanted to be vague enough that like I wasn't trying to like get at this business, but I wanted to more so just explain what happened.
So I get this job and I don't put in any notice at HEB until it's solidified that I have this job. I didn't put in a notice yet. I talked to one of the co-owners about when I would start, and they wanted me to start as soon as possible because they also hired some other people alongside me, or under me, because I was supposed to have, this was supposed to be like a manager position, and I was like, oh my god, crazy, I'll be a manager. It's not the first time I've been a manager, but it'll be a first time in a while. We negotiated when my start date would be, and basically I would put in a week's notice at work, and so I did that. And then quite literally 3 days before my start date, they said that they didn't have the budget for an office manager, because I was supposed to be an office manager. They said, we don't have the budget for an office manager, so what we could do is we have two options. We could either push back your start date until May, but that is only tentative because we don't know if we will come up with the money to have your position, or we could let you go so you can have that freedom to find other positions, other jobs. And you know, they're very good at phrasing it in the way that like made it seem like an opportunity for me. And I'm always pretty good at keeping a professional face on, because I don't like tension and I don't like conflict or confrontation. I only really am okay with confrontation if I feel comfortable in an environment. When they said that to me, I was very blunt and honest, and I said, I cannot say that I am not disappointed, and I can't say that you are putting me in a financial bind, because I have been open and honest with you about my living situation. And they apologized and they understood, and to some degree I was like, I understand, this is your business, you need to do what you need to do for your business, but I also think I've never been a business owner, so I can't say like, you just gotta figure out your logistics better. But you know, they also had a lot of time to tell me, and they only waited 3 days before my start date to tell me. That was not enough time. I had been in contact with this business for 2 weeks, like interviewing, talking about the position. It also was just like, I was very excited to work with this business and this company, and it was just very disappointing when they let me go. Like I said, I had a breakdown over that. So far we are doing pretty much okay. The only thing that I have going on in terms of employment is going back to HEB. And although this isn't ideal, it's something I just need to do, and it is something that has been a backup plan before since I left HEB. There's that. I turned 26. That is the next thing I want to talk about. I turned 26 literally earlier this month. Crazy. I don't want to keep this too long, this subject matter too long, but I have said before that I never thought I really would live past the age of 18 or 19, just because I didn't have anything planned for myself past that age. My goal was just to graduate high school and then attend community college for some time, and then I didn't know what I was going to do after that. That's where I'm at, and now I'm at 26. How did I get so far? In 2 years, it'll be my 10-year anniversary graduating from high school. Crazy! It still feels like I graduated like 3 years ago. What the fuck? I also think I'm just not on the same like life path as everybody else or as most of the people from my high school that have went. It doesn't feel like I'm 26. I am slowly inching towards 30, which is scary because I don't feel my age. I don't necessarily feel younger than 20, but I don't feel older than 25 at the very least. And I also think the pandemic really just muddled things up. My 23rd birthday happened when COVID was happening. I didn't get to celebrate it the way that I wanted to. I think in my brain I'm still 23 because I didn't celebrate my 23rd birthday the way that I wanted to. And I think a lot of people can speak to that, you know? I don't think I've aged past 23. I think my body stopped aging at 23 because I just don't feel 26. There are days where it's like, oh, I'm a 26-year-old today. And then there are some days where I'm like,
I'm just a little baby 22-year-old moved to the city. I don't know what I'm doing.
COVID hasn't happened yet, you know what I mean? Segueing into the next part, which is, since moving into this apartment, I haven't really left the apartment unless it was to walk Willow or I go get coffee in the morning. But Willow is almost never in her crate. I'll give you a shot of her right now. She loves napping on the couch. I'd say she's acclimated pretty well to this space. I think she's never lived in an apartment before because before me, her foster had a house, and so Willow's always had like a backyard and a lot of space to roam around and do things. This is obviously quite different. She's acclimated as best as I could have hoped for when it came to her. I don't want her to feel kind of trapped like in a bubble. We have enough space in the apartment where she can play and not feel like she's like crammed. I'll show you real quick. She has a little perch spot near the window, which is something essential that I wanted for her because she would always perch herself on my bed in front of my window at my mom's house. I've always wanted a space where she can still look out. That's her little spot. She either lays over there or she lays on the couch. What I love about our couch is one of the armrests is like facing towards the windows, so even while she's like laying her head right there, she can still see out the window. She's just a little further away. But to me, I want her to feel as comfortable as possible when it comes to our new space, and I don't want to force anything on her. And we've kind of gotten sort of a routine down. The reason why I stay home is because I want Willow to get used to the environment and not just shove her into her crate. I want her to be able to go in her crate whenever she feels comfortable to. And if we're able to go someplace where we can take Willow, where she can like chill in the car with one of us with the AC on, I want to bring her because Sleeping Beauty has awoken. Yeah, so I pretty much want to make sure that she is in the most comfortable state that she can be, while also, you know, like having
Today we are recreating Taylor Swift's
Okay, anyway, John walks her in the morning and I walk her in the afternoon. We both walk her in the evening. Besides this HEB interview, I also just continue to apply for other jobs. I've had job opportunities come up, but one of them was like a sales job, and I just don't think I'm a salesperson as much as I want to maybe convince myself or try to attempt to be. I just feel like deep in my gut I am not. So that is pretty much it in terms of like where I'm at. I might do an apartment tour maybe, because I think most of our apartment is furnished. We'll see about that. If you have any video suggestions, please let me know. How are you doing? I'd like to hear about anything that's going on in your life right now. I think that's pretty much it for now. The motivation to make this video was slowly dwindling away from that previous impulse a couple days ago, so it's pretty astounding that I'm still doing it, or that I'm doing it right now, because I just thought the feeling would be gone. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I will be uploading more soon. No promises, but I'll see you guys in hopefully the next one. Bye.